Alright, y'all, we're back with another Black Clover mobile video, and today we're going to be going over the Eye of the Midnight Sun, the 4 new characters that dropped about roughly 2 days ago. So yeah, let's get right into it. First up, we have Licht. He's a green attacker. He's more dominant in the magic attack stats, so you're going to be focusing that stat the most. You're going to go attack, crit damage, speed. Those are going to be your enhanced versions of the gear. That's going to be your set. The reasoning for it is he has a lot of crit rate already built into his kit, and you could get some on his substats as well. So of course, adding more attack for damage and crit damage is going to be the best route for him. And then speed, of course, you want speed. A majority of your DPS characters want speed to cycle quicker, and of course, if you're using them in PvP, outspeed your opponents. Your substitutes will be crit damage and crit rate, both of them. Of course, because if you do not have anything else, it is fine. You can just increase his consistency with crit rate before you start getting optimal substats for crit rate and etc. Skill page, you have his skill page. Of course, it gives him attack percent and crit rate, so it's going to be the best all around for him. Next up, you have Fauna's. Fauna's is an overall increase all attack by 10%. So, of course, that's going to be good for a lot of characters, just like Breath of Darkness. Next up, you have Yami's skill page. It increases his crit rate, and it stacks, I believe, 5 times. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be better for him because then he'll just have more crit rate, and the consistency of him critting will be very high. Talent, it's going to be very similar to the other character sheet that I did a couple days ago. It's not going to differ too much because a lot of the DPSs are going to be very similar in terms of what they want to do damage. Aside from whether you want them to be attack or magic attack, that would be like really the only difference inside their talents. And then of course defense and support are usually the same, like 99% of the time. Now for synergies, you have Valtos. Of course, he increases speed, he increases magic attack. He's going to be good with Lich because Lich relies on his magic attack, and speed is better for him because, I mean, speed is better for everybody. Next up, you have Sally. Of course, Sally increases crit rate, increases magic attack, increases, I believe, attack as well, increases a bunch of things. Really good buffer all around. So, yeah, I mean, of course, she would work well with him. And then next up, you have Rya, the most obvious. He has the united attack with Lich, so they're going to work good together. They're both green, and you could use them in a lot of blue content together. It's not really much more to say other than that. They really work well together because they're built together. Next up, we have Fauna, blue attacker. She's dominant in the magic attack stat, and she wants attack, crit damage, speed. The average route for DPS characters, but your substitutes will be crit rate and lifesteal. That way, she's more sustainable, and crit will increase your damage slightly. So, next up, you have her skill pages. Of course, you have Fauna's. It obviously is going to be the best on her. It enhances her skill 2, and it also increases all her attack by 10%. Waygolian, we already know, overall, good skill page. Like, as long as you're above 50% HP, you're doing good damage. And she has lifesteal, so yeah, they work really good. Next up, you have Breath of Darkness, of course. I mean, it's Breath of Darkness, like, it's basically another Fauna skill page. Because I believe it also increases all attack by 10%. So, yeah, it's going to be good universally for a lot of characters. It's just very difficult, though, like, when you have a lot of characters that utilize it, it's good to have a secondary option like Fauna skill page. That way you can use them on 2 separate characters. Next up, talents. As I said before, very similar. A lot of the DPSs are going to have the same route. Only differing option is going to be the fact that, well, it's not really an option, but you're basically going to be going, whether it's attack or magic attack. That's going to be the only difference on the attack talents. And then the defense support are usually going to remain the same. Next up, you have Valtos, of course, increases magic attack, increases speed, like same deal as Lich. You're going to use them together if you want. They're going to be good. You have Sally, of course, once again, buff magic attack, crit rate, etc. Buffer, not much to explain there. Then you have Lotus. Lotus being a blue attacker. I mean, debuffer, excuse me. Of course, they're going to work good together. It's given. Lotus works good with so many people because Lotus is so good, so he's like really a top contender, so he's just going to always be on a lot of teams. And he's blue, so realistically, of course, it'll synergize well, and he does a lot of, damage res lower, etc. And she does AoE, and he does AoE. It's just kind of, they'll do good damage. They'll do good damage. Together they'll be monsters when you're trying to do like red content. Next up, you have Rya. He's a green attacker. He's gonna have attack, crit damage, and speed. I mean, not crit damage, crit rate. Excuse me. And then attack is gonna be his dominant main stat. So you're gonna be focusing all into attack as much as possible. And then your substitutes will be crit damage and life steal. Next up, you have a skill page. Of course, his skill page is going to be the best because then it also gives him like the buff removals, and he could copy the buffs as well. So that's going to be good for enemies with annoying buffs. And then it increases his accuracy, of course. Then you have Fauna. Fauna skill page, increase all attack. It's good. But the darkness, increase all attack. Rya doesn't need anything complicated. He's very simple. Just, get buffs and increase your damage. That's it. And then your talents, as the others, it's going to be the same, except the only difference is going to be he's going to be focusing more onto the attack, like just the straight attack for his attack talent tree. Then you have Finral. Finral's a really good character overall. Good utilization for a lot of characters that need a buffer. You can't go wrong with Finral. Just read him, check him out. You'll see why he's a good character. Next up, William. William obviously boosts attack, he increases speed, he gives counter, he's that guy. So use him with Rya. They'll do insane amounts of damage together. If you're trying to like rush something, do rankings, etc. William's usually going to be that go-to because increasing speed and attack in one is really good. It minimizes the amount of turns you have to take. It's just good. I don't really know what to say. He's just that guy. Mimosa, of course, Mimosa is a green character, increasing the survivability of Rya as well. You pair them both on the same team because they're green. You could have a full green team going, starting with, I'll just give an example. You have Radies, Mimosa, Brill, and Rya. And then you could probably do like stage 15 dungeons with that team. And you obviously, Mimosa will be good with him. It's not like anything that you shouldn't expect. They're both green, and they're both good characters. Especially, they're probably staples on the green teams for a while, as there's not going to be a lot of green attackers that drop later on. And he's going to be the most dominant in terms of PvE setting. Next up, we have the worst of the four, Vetto. Now, this guy is just a CP whore. That's the only reason people use him. But I've seen some people try to utilize him to max capacity in PvP, but those were like the real whales. Like they got 5 dupes and everything. So I don't know how much value that is to people who do not spend as much. They buy like 1 dupe or no dupes. So it's just like, he's an okay character. But if you do happen to build him, he's going to be focusing mainly on attack, and then his substats are going to be kind of a mix because they have him kind of built like a bruiser type scenario where they want him to do more damage, but they want him to be a defender as well. So you're going to kind of have to mix with attack, defense, HP, and damage risk. So that way you have survivability, but you're still dishing out damage. You're going to go attack, defense, and then lifesteal for his sets. Reason being is, you want damage and you want more survivability using the defensive set, and then you lifesteal, adding to his kit for lifesteal, it just, adds more on top of how much he heals. So it's good. But if you do not have that, you can also go 2-piece of either crit damage or HP. Next up, you have the skill pages. Vetto's skill page, of course, is going to be the best for him. There's no debate about that. Increases damage and all that, and gives him a barrier, and it's just going to be the best for him. And then next up, you have the one of the best SSR skill pages in the game, because this thing is absolutely cracked. The Moonlight Necklace is like a whole 40% increased defense and 6% increased healing to yourself. So it's like, you can't, like when you go and attack people in defense, in PvP, like when they're in defense, it's hard to tell because I'm pretty sure these stats from the skill pages apply once you're in battle, and it's a hefty amount. 40% is nothing to scoff at. 40% defense, and like you could attack someone who's way lower CP than you, but if they have the Moonlight Necklace on, it'd be an insanely difficult thing to do is to kill them. It's just an insane piece. So yeah, it's going to be good on him as well. It's not. It's like it's a given, especially for a lot of tanks. Then you have Mars as a very good Third option, probably wouldn't use that though if you do have the other two, and I'd prefer if you do have the other two. But if you do not, that is your very last option, and then from there you'll have to use SRs. Then next up you have talents. Same deal. You're gonna be buffing his attack and crit rates, and then you're gonna have all the same support and defensive talents. Good to pair with. Rya, they're both red. It's it's like when you're making a team, your mono teams, you're gonna have Rya on your red team a lot, and you're gonna have Vetto because he's the only red SSR tank currently. So they will be good together. In terms of PvP scenario, Vetto's okay. Probably wouldn't use him in an attack team, and but you can have Asta on the same team. But I mean, it's not going to do anything much. But I feel like in PvE they synergize more because you just need that red tank to just start tanking hits. And then next up you have William. It's Vetto. He doesn't really have a lot of good options in terms of synergies, but they do work well together still. Next up you have RHYA. RHYA being red and Vetto also being red. As I said before, similar to Rya, you will be using either one of these two DPSs, Asta or RHYA with Vetto because they are both red, and when you need to do green content, you're gonna need probably both of these, because I believe the only other option would be the red SR Asta to try to do green stages. It's gonna be probably insanely difficult until we get like really to this high stopping point where we could probably use type disadvantage characters or even at least neutral characters that could tank good enough to do the stage. But yeah, RHYA is going to be really good with him. It's just defenders usually fit on a lot of teams as very similar to healers. They kind of flex picks. You can kind of throw them onto any team because they're going to do their own role, which is tank for the team. Just like Radies, just like Mars, they fit in a lot of teams just because they are the tanks. They will sit in that team comfortably. And yeah, that's going to be all of the four Eye of the Midnight Sun characters. As usual, once Julius is more close to dropping, I'll also be doing a character sheet on him as well. It could be a week from now, it could be 2 weeks from now, it could be tomorrow. We'll just have to see. But I do plan to do his as well when he does come out. Maybe I'll be more extensive and actually review him as a character, since it'll just be him alone. But yeah, and then we'll cover what's his best everything. Best team, best skill pages, best set effects, all that good stuff. Well, I think that's gonna be all for now. I appreciate you guys for watching. And if you could like and subscribe, that way you could be in tune for the next content that I'll be dropping. And with that, have a blessed day. Peace.